0.077. But every time out, Justin Bonsignore was directly behind him. How close? Well, you might look at the times, 19.125. Kyle Bonsignore was there. Ronnie Silk was there. You're looking at the two that are in a hot battle, but there's the third contender there as well. And we've got a lot of other contenders that are looking to make this day closer to that brass ring. The most money in the history of the Whelen Modified Tour is up for grabs for the championship this year.
Over $412,000, the purse for the season. Over $16,000 on the line to the winner here tonight, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And not only the cash. You talked about the strength of this event, what it means for New England race fans, and really for race fans up and down the Eastern Seaboard. Winning a World Series of Speedway racing here in the state of Connecticut at Thompson is huge. That trophy sits atop all of them on the mantelpiece back home. It
certainly does. And, of course, so many individuals became champions at this racetrack. During our broadcast later, we're going to be taking a look back at the archives and some of the legendary folks that crowned their title here at this racetrack. You know, there's nothing like it. We've seen all divisions assembled for the Sunoco World Series year after year after year. But when you look down on pit road and you look at the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, you know what it represents. The oldest, the fastest division in NASCAR. And this grand facility has been, well, center stage in all of that. This racetrack has hosted more Whelen Modified Tour events than any other racetrack. The reason for that is simple. It's a racy racetrack. It's a 5/8 of a mile racetrack. And we have seen it in the past. There's no such thing as an odds-on favorite on this racetrack.
And I think tonight you're going to see this racetrack change a lot. Talked about how they were on track for practice around 5:30. It's not all that cold for New England here.
No,
it's some mid-50s right now. It definitely has a chill in the air. But as we get deeper into the evening, the dew's going to start to set in. And that's going to change how this racetrack is run. We've also got all those different divisions of race cars. That means there's a whole bunch of rubber on this racetrack that normally isn't there. They run a road course here at this track, and it goes in reverse order. It comes onto the track in turn 1, reverse order down the front straight through turns 3 and 4, and then back off over in turn number 2. That impacts how this track runs when you start applying new rubber to the track and road course rubber on top of it. They've got all Hoosier rubber on the track this weekend, and so that's going to be a different factor on top of the cool temperatures that we get in later tonight. It's going to certainly throw the crew chiefs a little bit of a curveball when we get ready to go racing.
It certainly is. And remember, already 150 laps of competition were on this racetrack with the ROC event, the crowning of the champions. But right now, Joe Goss, our first car comes out under the gun and under the clock here for tonight's event. It is car number 29, the MLM Diagnostics Machine out of Hudson, New Hampshire. He's considered a rookie. It is Mike Marshall. Marshall will be the first of 26 cars to come out and assemble. Mike Marshall said when I asked him early in the season, why would he pick the Whelen Modified Tour? He says the answer is simple. I want to run with the very best in the competition, and he says the only way to do it is to go and compete here in these Modified Tour events. Marshall just cutting his teeth, comes off the turn, lap number 1. Will go into the record books of the first car under the gun. It will be a time of 21.271. 21.271.
The format for qualifying tonight will be a 2-lap qualifying. They see the green the first time through, and 2 laps, the better time of those 2, will set the qualifying order. We have seen the intensity in qualifying. The fastest cars will go toward the end based on their practice speed earlier today. Ben, Mike's going to pick up a bit here on the second lap. A 20.517 will be the time that he'll stand on for qualifying.
And our second car to come out will be the DW Machine and Fabricating. That is the Burgess Industries car out of Freeland, Pennsylvania. Another outstanding rookie. Car number 12 for Brian Sonez. Sonez came on strong in a couple of events. Again, another one of those competitors just trying to get some seat time. First time on the clock as he comes off turn number 4. And, trouble. Gets crossed up. Back end snaps around on him. Does a 360 spin. Gets it fired back up, and the one-act machine, will it be able to, come back out and get fired back up? And yes, it does. But that's going to be a costly situation. First lap on the clock was a 20.644. We're going to take a look at this
coming up off
replay here.
turn 4 here. He got sideways, gathered it back in for a moment, and then it just hooked and took off on him as it slid down across the racetrack. That's one of the things with these big Hoosier tires on front of these cars. Once you get that car planted, when it catches, and it goes around.
It sure does. And, of course, you went from asphalt to the grass area there, and that was the transition, and that was all it took for car number 12. So, unfortunately, that will be the end for his situation as he is now at the entrance onto pit road as we speak, and our third car, Joe, will be coming out in just a short moment. And that third individual, well, he cut his teeth here at Thompson Speedway. He worked with Russ Dowd in the tower and ran some timing and scoring in the scoreboard here at this racetrack before he moved down south in the competition there. He competes at some of the Smart Tour races as well. Joe?
John Michael Chenette under the green flag here from Thompson, Connecticut, originally. USNE 82 Services in Hines providing the backing for John Michael Chenette. Came home with his season best of 14th at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. The last time he raced, we did have Riverhead Raceway between the two, but he wasn't at that event. White flag out for John Michael Chenette, and he will slot in the second spot, a 20.527 with his opening lap.
So lap number 1. Looks to pick it up just a bit as he comes off turn number 4. Comes back to the stripe. Lap number 2 is much better. That, of course, is a 19.892. That puts Michael Chenette to the top of the board.
Next up, it'll be the 18 from Calverton, New York. This is Ken Hagee, Speed 77. Backing this driver. He's had a good stretch here in the late summer into the early fall. He's been in the top 15 the last handful of races, going all the way back to Richmond Raceway in the month of August. Runs 13th in points so far for Ken Hagee, one of the full-time drivers on the series.
Sure is, and of course Hagee's been around quite some time. His time will be 20.201 for lap number 1. Looks to break into that 19 second bracket as he comes off turn number 4.
Checkered flag out for Ken Hagee across the line, a 19.801. He will go to the number 1 spot of the 4 cars to qualify.
Well, the 5th car to come onto the racetrack, a very familiar driver here at Thompson Speedway. Former multiple-time champion in weekly racing competition, the Horton Avenue Materials Gunsmoke Stables machine. From Stafford Springs, Connecticut, JJ prepares the automobile for the Woodman, Woody Pitcat. Pitcat has had some very solid, consistent runs with this race car. Danny Watts, who's been around the sport a long time, is the owner of the automobile, and of course Gunsmoke Staples. Pitcat's first lap, 19.920. 19.920.
Not good enough for first yet. He's third on his opening circuit for Woody Pitcat. Checkered flag out for him, and he will improve to the top, 19.589, picking up a pretty good amount there on that second lap for Woody Pitcat, former champion here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park in multiple divisions. Next on track is a 20 car. This is Max Zackham from Preston, Connecticut. USNE and Lumax Package Store providing the sponsorship. A little bit of a bobble off the end of the front straightaway for Max Zackham. You talked about the Race of Champions modified race that was on track about 2 hours ago before these cars came out for practice. Zackham, one of 9 drivers in the field tonight for the Whelen Modified Tour race that competed in that event earlier today.
Sure did, and he did a great job. He came from the back of the pack. Zackham's first time is a good one, 19.936. That moves Max Zackham into the top 4. This kid's got a tremendous amount of talent, and he really has been focused on this tour. A little bit loose that time coming off turn number 4. Let's see what he does as Max Zackham moves into second with a time of 19.729 with the USNE Power Car.
Max Max, along with an ex-driver, Teddy Hodgson, in the 55 car. A couple of drivers that are running for the FloRacing Connecticut Challenge here this season.
Big money on the line again.
Hodgson is right now 4th in the running order. Still has a chance at winning that extra bonus. Matt Swanson firmly in command ahead, 72 points. Jake Johnson not in the field tonight. Max Zackham sitting 3rd, and Teddy Hodgson sitting 4th with that extra bonus money on the line. Hodgson across the line, a quick lap for him. 19.867 is good enough to move him into the 4th spot. And we saw how much Woody Pitcat picked up on his 2nd circuit with a little bit of heat in the tires and more of this Hoosier tire rubber down on the racetrack as he slides the car off turn number 4. Hodgson across the line. He goes to the top at 19.498 for Teddy Hodgson.
Well, now the 8th competitor on the racetrack is the S&S Paving. Harshaw Paving Company, number 44. The Tineo race car from Roxbury, Connecticut, Chase Dowling. Dowling had a great run going at New Hampshire before he was involved in an altercation late in the event. He said he planned his pit strategy to get to the front. It was working, but it just didn't work out at the end. White flag is out, lap number 1. Chase Dowling's first time, 19.701. That's good enough for 3rd fastest. That's among the quickest of the first laps of any of the 8 cars that have taken time. Let's see if he can pick it up even more off turn 4.
He qualified 2nd the last race here in August. Does he have a little bit more for the 44? And he does. He'll go number 1, 19.353 for Chase Dowling. We'll see if that's enough to hold for a top 5 or a top 10 qualifying run. Here's a driver up next who has certainly improved their program. The 58 of Eric Goodale came here one night ago, ran a 50-lap open modified event, came home 6th last night, and since the last race at Thompson Speedway, he only missed one race, which was Oswego. He's had 4 top 10s in the last 4 races, including a top 5. And for this team, they have turned things around because they had not had very good luck, not only at the beginning of this year, but even going back to the end of last season.
Certainly has. The GF roofing team has gotten stronger. Let's see on his first lap, 19.739, good enough to be in the top 5. Looks to pick it up just a bit. We'll call him a closer. He is very consistent and runs strong. Moving to the top of the charts, 19.335. Eric Goodale puts the GAF Riverhead Building Supplies machine into the number 1 position.
Every car on track seems to get a half a tenth faster, then a tenth faster. We continue to see the times get quicker still. Here's a driver that's got a lot of experience on Riverhead Raceway down in Long Island. In fact, he finished 2nd in the Tour Type Modified Season Championship standings. This is Dylan Slepian from Dix Hill, New York. Eastport Feed provide the backing. Another driver who was running in that Connecticut Challenge presented by Flow Sports. That extra bonus money that'll be awarded at the end of the race tonight. He goes a 19.832, not fast enough to crack inside the top 5 here on his opening circuit. Let's see if he's got a little bit more here as he comes to the checkers.
Comes off the turn a little bit looser that time. Checkered flag comes out. Lap number 2 will be a time of 19.584. 19.584 moves him solid into the top 4 as he'll put Woody Pitcat back into the 5th position.
Tommy Catalano in the 54, the older of the 2 Catalano brothers on the series this year. Winner for the first time in his career at Monadnock earlier this summer and his 97th career start. The Catalano family has certainly improved their game as well, have shown a lot of speed. They had a lot of track time here yesterday too. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the show. Here he comes across the line for Tommy Catalano in the 54 car. It's a 19.597. That's 7th overall, and that's a pretty fast opening lap.
Sure is. Let's see if he can do it a little bit quicker this time. Comes off turn number 4. Checkered flag is out, and he does. Moves to the top of the charts. 19.269. 19.269. Tommy Catalano becomes the guy to beat. Here's the guy that finished one of the most incredible finishes in the history of the Whelen Modified Tour. Driving the USNE Northeast Drilling Company car from Owego, New York. The big winner at New Hampshire, Tyler Ripkema with car number 3. This kid has been so close so many times. It was nice to see him cost the finish in one of the most exciting runs. Ripkema's first time, 19.749. 19.749. That is 8th fastest so far of 12 cars.
And this car looks loose on corner exit right there, sliding it up off turn number 4 to the checkered flag for the 3, and it'll be second quick. 12.283 for Tyler Ripkema. And Ben, I have seen this out of many of the cars that have taken the track so far, especially off turn number 4. This track is slick tonight.
It sure is, and you're witnessing just that. Another one of the leading rookies on the Whelen Modified Tour is the Newtown Pools Wanted Construction Company, number 21. We are halfway through time trialing. It is Stephen Kopsick from Newtown, Connecticut, with the number 21 car. Kopsick was not happy with his car after practice today. Stephen Kopsick's first lap puts him in 6th, 19.534. That is 6th fastest. Let's see if he has the same type of a situation off turn number 4. Will he slip just a bit? A little bit more solid that time for him. And Stephen Kopsick moves into the top 5 with a time of 19.377.
Well, Timmy Solomito is back for the first time in the 2025 season. 9-time series winner, including his first and last victory on the series right here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. One of the first-time winners that came here at this track. That was back in 2016 for Timmy Solomito.
Sure was, and Timmy is an outstanding competitor. Comes from that Bull Ring Riverhead Raceway, but he loves this 5/8 mile racetrack. 19.687. Took a lot of time off from running at Riverhead this season, but he's back behind the wheel on the Modified Tour, and his run in practice shows that he is more than just your average competitor. Let's see how he does on lap number 2. Timmy Solomito's second time on the clock, 19.302. That puts him on the podium among the top 3, Joe.
Solid run for his first appearance here this season, but still a long way to go. 14 cars have qualified, still more than half the field yet to come out, and this will be the 17 car. Anthony Nocella making his 5th start of the season, and it's his first start outside of the state of New Hampshire all season long. He's focused on some of the short tracks up there and the Magic Mile as well last time we ran there in September. He's had a pretty good result too. 3 top 10s coming into this race of the races he has run, and he is a former winner on the series. A 17 across the line. It's going to be a 19.756. Ben, that lap not as fast as we have seen the opening lap be for the handful of cars that have gone ahead of him.
That is so true. This is the Extreme Motorsports car. Michelle Davini owns the automobile. Second lap is a pretty good one, 19.395, but not good enough to put him in the top 5. That'll put him in a holding pattern in position number 7. Next we move to another one of the famed Catalanos, another big winner this season, the USNE Powered Machine from Ontario, New York, Trevor Catalano, 16th car of 26 to take time.
Came home with a podium finish, finishing 3rd in the icebreaker here at Thompson. Conditions cool, just like it is here tonight in the month of April as he dives back into turn number 1. Trevor Catalano at 19.402. To talk about first lap times, that is pretty sporty. Right around that 19.3 range is where we saw Catalano, his older brother, go out and lay that opening circuit. Let's see if he can match. Again, a lot of right-hand steer on that wheel coming off turn number 4 as they got loose on him. Across the line he goes to the top, 19.193. He bumps his older brother off the provisional pole.
He certainly does, and what a run it was. Up next, of course, will be the 17th car to take time. It is car number 11. Another former champion here at Thompson Speedway, the Ferguson Motorsports Machine from Rocky Hill, Connecticut, Eric Burnt. They nicknamed him the Bulldog. Very focused guy, has proven many times he can get the job done. As Eric Burns' first time, 19.760. In the first practice of the day, he was atop the chart. Then, as they made more adjustments, they dropped a little further back, but he was among the top 5 for quite some time. Second time for Eric Burnt will be a time of 19.455. 19.455, 9th fastest, just into the top 10. Now, Joe, here's a competitor that really surprised some folks earlier today. The Cerebella Auto, Mully's Auto Repair, Casella, snowplows machine from Acton, Mass, Matt Swanson. Swanson gets the job done with a super, open shows, and on the Whelen Modified Tour.
He's been very good. He's leading right now in that FloRacing Connecticut Challenge standings with a healthy advantage here coming into today's race with that extra bonus cash on the line for the Gary Casella-owned number 25. And he has run part-time over the past couple of seasons. When he's run here at Thompson, he has been solid inside the top 10 for most of his attempts. Across the line, he will go to second. He will split the Catalano brothers. Trevor Catalano still first. Matt Swanson now second at 19.230. Then it's Tommy Catalano, Tyler Ripkema, and it is Timmy Salamino, your top five.
Well, here they come as they start to get faster and stronger. Craig Lutz is the guy that just dominated the super speedways in 2025. He's been consistent and strong and extremely focused in the Riverhead Building Supply number 46 car. Will he move to the top of the charts? Lutz's first time, 19.638. 19.638.
Lutz is still in the championship battle, and
yes,
then there is a championship bonus point that gets awarded to the pole-winning car. Well sideways that time off turn number 4. A moment for Craig Lutz. Gathered it back in as he dirt tracked off the corner.
Good enough for the top 3, Joe.
And it is third nonetheless, a 19.253 for Craig Lutz, but boy, did he have his hands full.
Well, here's a car that back in August was the car that everybody fell in love with. The Jeff Bonai tribute car for Fleetwood Incorporated. The Orchard Park, New York driver, car number 1, Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling is smooth as glass, had a top 3 podium finish in the ROC race earlier today. First lap on him, 19.655. 19.655 for Patrick Emmerling. 15th, but lap number 2 is going to tell the story. Let's see, Joe, what happens off turn number 4. Will he slip up? Yes, slides just a bit. And car number 1 will be the 7th fastest, Joe, and that's a time of 19.319.
5 cars remain in the session, and the driver of the number 60 car has already won a race here earlier today, and that came in that ROC modified race. His dad, Tony Hirschman, an 8-time Thompson Speedway winner, but this driver, Matt Hirschman, has never won at this racetrack, and he wants to be able to check it off here today, driving the Elite Towing number 60. Matt Hirschman, Big Money Matt, has won everything as far as modified racing is concerned, including earlier in the day today. Lap 1 at 19.603. Ben, that mirrors what we saw Patrick Emmerling run on his opening circuit.
Does.
And Emmerling is deep in the running order here among the cars that have qualified so far in 7th. Checkered flag out. Here is Hirschman across the line. He will go to 4th. 4th for Matt Hirschman, a 19.263 rather.
Here's a guy that had a brilliant run today in the ROC race. He literally owns the real estate in Victory Lane here at this racetrack. Not running for the points this season. The Blue Mountain Machine and Future Homes car. That, of course, is car number 16 for a former champion, the Hayde-Yonden Racing Enterprises. Phil Moran prepared car, Ronnie Silk. Silk passed more cars in the ROC race than anyone else in the field. 19.642. 19.642 as Ronnie Silk looks to move in closer to the front of the field in this one. 17th on his first lap under the gun. Lap number 2. The number 16 machine will go into the 8th spot with a 19.307.
Interesting, Ben. Normally, as we get toward the end of qualifying, we start seeing that order shuffle a little bit, but Trevor Catalano was the 16th car to take time. He still stays in the number 1 spot. Here's Kyle Bonsignor in the 22 car. This team has found speed as of late. Struggled early in the season, but they have come to life now as we head toward the end of the 2025 season. Lap 1 complete for Kyle Bonsignor, a 19.497. Now, that was about a 1/10 of a second faster than what we saw Ron Silk lay down for his lap, but is it quick enough to knock down Trevor Catalano, who ran 19.1 19.193, the only driver to be in the 19.1 second range, and it's going to be good enough for second for Kyle Bonsignore. 19.212, and Trevor Catalano holds on for another run.
Well, here's the story of this event. The 24th car to take time will be the number 51 machine, the Phoenix Communication car from Holtzville, the four-time champion, Justin Bonsignore. Bonsignore in the Ryan Stone Phoenix Communication Ken Massa Motorsports car. First time on the clock. He was second fastest through practice. Time of 19.340. 19.340. Car number 51. Where does that stand? Back in the 12th spot.
That's a fast opening lap.
It sure is. Let's see what he can do in lap number 2. Comes off the turn. At the line. Shuts it down. 19.048. Justin Bonsignore moves to the number 1 spot with one car, Joe, left in the best rivalry we've seen on the Whelen Modified Tour in quite some time.
It is the championship point leader, winner last time out at Riverhead Raceway, Austin Beers, who came in with a 13-point advantage in the championship. Now, there's a bonus point that is awarded to the pole winner in the Whelen Modified Tour. Justin Bonsignore just grabbed that bonus point for the moment. Lap number 1 for the 64 car across the line, a 19.346. Beers is in the ballpark, but does he have enough to steal that all-important bonus point away from Justin Bonsignore and get his second pole of the season? Smooth off turn number 4. Checkered flag is out, and it's not going to be enough. Austin Beers will qualify second, 19.156. And in a very tight championship battle, every point counts. The championship bonus point for qualifying on the Hoosier Tire pole is going to go to Justin Bonsignore, the only car in the 19.0s, 19.048. And Justin Bonsignore will lead the field around to the green flag and the World Series 150, presented by Flow Sports.
Sure will. And of course, Austin Beers, second fastest, 19.156. Trevor Catalano was third. Kyle Bonsignore, was fourth. Matt Swanson would round out the top 5. Craig Lutz, sixth fastest. Matt Hirschman, seventh fastest. Tommy Catalano, eighth fastest. Tyler Ripken was ninth. Timmy Solomito would round out the top 10. In the 11th spot, Ronnie Silk. 12th spot, Patrick Emmerling. Eric Goodale. Chase Dowling was 14th. Steven Kopsick was 15th.
Tip of the cap to Trevor Catalano and that team. They typically don't qualify that well, and they typically don't qualify well here at Thompson. They put their work in to qualify inside the top 5. Good run for them.
Certainly did. There's no question about that. And, of course, they were not as strong as earlier today in the practice session.
They're the eyes of Justin Bonsignore. Teams will have a quick turnaround. Let's go down and hear from our Hoosier Tire pole winner, Justin Bonsignore, standing by with Jesse Punch.
Justin Bonsignore choosing to stay in the car here during this short break. Justin, you know what it takes to get it done here. Does this team have it tonight?
Yeah, we've been good this evening, so looking forward to it. Obviously Austin's putting us to the challenge here, so we kind of have to win out here and have him run mediocre. So we'll keep the pressure on him as much as we can. Just want to thank Phoenix Communications. They got a bunch of people here tonight, and ClearCom IT Solutions for coming out as well, and all the fans for sticking it out with this weather this weekend. So hopefully we can put on a nice race here at the end of the night, and it'll be nice to get to victory lane here and tie Mike Stefanik.
Good luck tonight, Justin. That's Justin Bonsignore chasing win number 15 here tonight at Thompson, sitting second in the championship points.
Yeah, Jesse, that 15th victory, if you could get it tonight, would tie the mighty Mike Stefanik at an overall win record here at Thompson Speedway with 15 wins.
And, think about that, Joe. The number of years from then to now for that record to be broken. That's pretty amazing. And this was the racetrack. Mike Stefanik lived just over the hill here and loved this racetrack and was a part of the history of this track for so many years. So that is a very prestigious record to have. You're looking at the World Series 150 from Thompson Speedway Motorsport Park in Thompson, Connecticut, as they are ready, about to prepare for tonight's main event.
Teams will have a few minutes to make adjustments, put them from qualifying mode into race mode. When we return, we'll get closer to the green flag of the World Series 150, presented by FlowSports.com.
we couldn't do it without Whelen. I don't believe we've ever taken a product off that was broken. It was we put the car out of service.
What price do you put on a life? We don't want to run the risk of causing loss of life through our response.
Whelen sells peace of mind. Their goal is to get home each and every evening. And if we play a small part in ensuring they get home safely each day, it's extremely gratifying.
Here we